We're live. Hi, everyone. I don't even know if I need to introduce you, Donna, because I think everyone's going to know who you are. Do you want to start us off with an intro to you and your books?
Okay, I'm prepared. I was prepared for you today. So I am Donna Morfett. My debut book was The Disappearance of Peter Markham, which came out last year in May and then came out again this year in May. And then my second book, which came out on Friday, is Masquerade of Murder, featuring DI Cora Slayton.
Right. Is that all you're telling us about them?
Yeah. Everyone, yeah, like you say, I think everyone knows me. I work and I have a forensic science degree. And I love reading and going to book festivals. There we go. That's all I'm getting.
Fair enough. I'm just tagging people into the stream, and normally I would tag you, and I'm not going to. Do you want me to tag you into the stream?
No, it's fine. I'm good.
Why did you decide to go the police procedural route?
It wasn't actually my intention. I mean, the first book I wrote because I wanted to kill someone that I hated. And then I realised that that's not really enough for a book. So then I kind of had to think for a reason of why that someone would want to kill him. That really wasn't enough for a book either. So that's when the police came in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it feels like
when you think about it, it's quite hard to, like, police procedurals are the kind of most, I don't want to say common, but like the most popular, prevalent sort of part of the crime genre. So it's harder to stand out within that.
yeah, which was a worry, but I didn't really know how else to do it. So I was like, well, I'll just give it a go and see.
What do you think it is about yours that will stand out in that crowd then?
I think because my team is quite young and they're quite new, so I haven't got the tropes, I haven't got the, sort of old cop that's got a drink problem and stuff. They're all young, they're unmarried, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm hoping really is the difference. You know, they're starting at the beginning of their careers. So yeah, they haven't got the years of pressure and everything.
Do you want me to give you the pressure of telling you who said hello?
Oh God, yeah, go on then.
Well, Daniel's watching. Daniel McBreakneck. Leslie Field has said good evening. G Bones said hello. Angela has said evening. And so has Malcolm.
Oh, hello everybody.
So you wanted to kill off someone you didn't like, right? Apart
Yeah.
from that, did your characters arrive fully formed? How did you who did you come up with first apart from your victim?
Probably Cora, and then Luke and Darcy came quite quickly after that. None of them have came fully formed. They've all been very painstakingly drawn from my brain. But Cora probably was the most. Her name I already had. I wanted something that sounded quite short and sharp. And then Darcy, I wanted something that sounded more fun and chilled and stuff. And I would, if I was to describe, I'd say they're two sides of my personality. Probably Cora's slightly more like me, but Darcy's kind of the other side of me. So it's quite easy to write them two because they're just me.
Malcolm says, how difficult did you find writing the follow-up?
I found the follow-up much easier. I loved writing the second book. I loved every second of it. The first book I wrote out of order. I wrote what I felt like at the time, and then had to put it together. Whereas the second book I wrote chronologically, and yeah, it just came out. It just flowed. So yeah, I found it much easier. Weirdly,
It's often people say that second books are hardest, don't they? To write. What were the writing times for them? So how long did it take you to write book one? How long did it take you to do book two?
So book one was probably altogether about 2 years, and book two was maybe 6 months, roughly.
Oh, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about book 3? Because I feel like you've got more to say.
So yeah, this is so I started book three not long after I'd finished book two, and then my nan had a stroke in December, which I think most people know now, and I wrote a little bit in the new year, but then I haven't really written that since probably February. In my head, I keep thinking I need to get back to it, and I haven't. So yeah, that one's quite. I've written maybe 30,000 words, and it's stuck at that at the minute. So yeah, that one's proven a lot more difficult.
Do you have, because you've got sort of different themes, haven't you? In the first one, you've just got like a revenge kind of plot. The second one, you've kind of got a bit of human trafficking and stuff going on, and like some other theme. What kind of themes would you want to tackle in other books in the series?
So the third one is a killer surgeon in the hospital. And then I need to carry on sort of where the second book left off with the OCG, so I've got that sort of to carry on as well. I wasn't really planning on some of the stuff that I included in book two. I don't really know where that came from, but it kind of just appeared. So there we go. I don't know where my brain goes and why sometimes, but yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do have lots of ideas to carry on the series for quite a while. So if people want to read them, then I definitely have ideas for the characters and stuff. For Cora, for Darcy, and for Luke actually. So yeah, I have thought about.
Do you ever think about having like little spin-off stories about some of them? So just Darcy doing something on her own?
I haven't yet. I don't think I know them well enough yet to do that. But watching an interview with you, you said something, and a review said about one of the characters in book one, his story not being finished. So I have thought about doing a short story with him to explore his story a bit more. Mr. Montgomery, I think, one of the bosses of Peter Markham, someone in a review said that they'd like to know more, so I thought I might do a short story about him. But yeah, I don't think I know them well enough yet to take them off and do their own thing.
Fair enough. I'm going to ask you the questions that people have got on here. So Malcolm said, "Are you a planner or a pantser?"
100% pantser. There's no planning happening at all.
And then I would have guessed that actually. It feels like your vibe. Like when we were talking about other things before that. I just yeah. Angela said, "What was your inspiration for book two?"
It was the carnival, pretty much because although Luton Carnival is the second biggest carnival after Notting Hill and has been for a long time, crime happens every year. I mean, I think I've mentioned Luton's a bit rough anyway, but genuinely people just get stabbed every year. So it's right in itself, frankly. And then there's been an emergence of county lines. So it just felt right. It just felt not easy. It wasn't easy, but it just felt like it was right in itself just because of where I live. I don't live in Luton, I live in Dunstable, but it's close enough. So yeah, I'd wanted to, since I started writing, I'd wanted to set one at Luton Carnival. So yeah, it felt good.
I'm going to question the carnival fact though, because the Leeds Carnival is, I think, the second one outside of London and one of
Okay.
the biggest.
Perhaps it was then, perhaps it isn't anymore, but I'm sure at one time it was one of the biggest carnivals in the country.
Melanie says, "How much of you is in Cora?"
Quite a lot. Yeah, quite a lot. Too much, possibly. But I'm not going to admit to all of it because I don't want everyone to know.
There are a lot of people who you might find familiar as you read your books, isn't there? There are often appearances from people that you know.
Yes, and
Some of them
um,
have interesting ends.
yes, and my colleagues happen to be in this one as well. My boss specifically asked me to be evil, so the character of Alona is my boss, and then the character of Sergei. Well, I was writing at work in my lunch breaks, and one of my colleagues is called Sergei. I wanted a Russian gangster. I mean, it was just there. So what could I do? And he didn't mind. He was quite happy. So yeah, so he stayed. So bless him. His he made me laugh the most I think I've ever laughed because he's very quiet. He doesn't say much. He comes in, gets on with his work. We don't see him. And I said to him, like, you've survived the book. You're fine. You've got to the end, but you've gone to jail. And he said, okay, that's fine. He said, but please don't put me in jail. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Wasn't going to do that anyway, but bye. No problem. I still can't believe he said that.
You're doing well being able to write in your lunch breaks.
Yeah, well, I've started walking now. I think that's why I haven't written as well. So now I go for a walk because I sit for 10 hours. So, it's not really ideal. So I started walking. So that's why I'm not writing. So I need to really find time to write, I think, because I still need to walk.
I played D&D in my lunch break,
Yeah.
which is way more nerdy. Laura, Laura is complimenting our dogs and dinosaurs.
Say that again, sorry.
Laura's complimenting our outfits.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Laura.
And she said if you could do a crossover story with your characters and another author's characters, who would it be?
Oh, goodness.
They're bringing all the challenging questions for you.
I know, yeah.
Like, you cannot go away and blame me for this. I've been
I
nice.
know. I know. I'd like to see how Cora and Bliss, Tony Ford as Bliss got on. I think that would be fun. I think I'd love to see Cora and Penny and Darcy gang up on Bliss. I think that would be very funny. Yeah.
I
That'd
think
be,
Darcy's quite a good character in it, actually. I think she's probably my favourite in there.
yeah, she's mine as well. I think. Yeah, I do. Because I can do what I want with her because it would be believable. She's just someone. I'm trying to get the audiobooks recorded, and someone asked about her character. I said I imagine her as a bouncy ball, just bouncing from one thing to another. I thought that was the best way to describe her.
What what kind of research are you doing for these? Because you obviously know the forensics.
Yeah, I mean, I research as and when, so I had to research the games, online gaming. I can't remember what it's called now for the first book, which was interesting. And I researched quite heavily male domestic abuse, which was, I think I sort of knew, we touched on it in my degree and stuff. But yeah, that wasn't fun. What else did I research? Um, and I'm really nerdy. And literally, the reason that the body at the beginning is found in the quarry is because I wanted to include diatoms because it was one of my favourite things for my degree. So literally, that's the only reason that he was found in water because it's the only way that I could include diatoms. So I did just check that I remembered that correctly, which I did. Um, but yeah, I think. Oh, I know. Like I looked up what the theme of the carnival was in that year, so I knew that that was right and stuff. Yeah, I didn't have to research too much for this one.
I liked the inclusion of LARP in the first one as
That was
well.
it. Yeah, yeah. I had to. That was Tom Simpson's idea actually. Um, I gave it to him to read, and apart from telling me that all of my characters at the time were too handsome, which I just absolutely laughed so much. He gave me the idea of including that, and actually, I was like, I thought about it and thought about it, and then I researched it, and it worked perfectly. So yeah, that's thanks to Tom Simpson. Yeah, that was fun research.
You have to be extremely nerdy to laugh. I'm married to someone who used to do it. So Malcolm's congratulating you on what you do for authors. Rebecca's said boo. Leslie said it'd be great if you can get an audiobook done. Rebecca also says nothing wrong with handsome characters. I mean, we all like a book boyfriend, don't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously I'm writing Felix in very much my imagination of what I would like my perfect man to be.
And you've been asked if you'll be seen at Harrogate.
Yes, I am doing Noir at the Bar because I'm an idiot and volunteer for things and then think, what was I thinking? So I'm doing Noir at the Bar on Thursday afternoon, reading from the second book, and then yeah, I'll be there till Sunday with Sharon. Me and Sharon as a pair.
How does it feel? Does it push you out your comfort zone sometimes doing this stuff as an author?
Yeah, because I don't
readings and things.
Yeah, I don't think of myself as an author. I still think of myself as a reader. So when I do stuff as an author, it feels super weird. It's nice, but yeah, it doesn't. It just feels like it's not me. It's very strange. Yeah, totally, completely out of my comfort zone.
Have you had someone recognise you as an author yet? And not just for your book stuff?
No, I haven't actually. I wonder this year maybe, but no. Yeah, I've been recognised as a blogger, but no, not as an author yet.
And while you're stealing ideas from Tom Simpson, have you got any clever plans for advertising your book while you're at Harrogate?
Well, last year I had a T-shirt. This year, I mean, I've got on my phone, I've got the two covers on my phone case, and then I've got a flask, but that's only got the first book on. But I will be carrying a flask with the first book cover
on. Dawn's asking if you suffer with imposter syndrome.
Oh God, yeah. But then don't all authors anyway? But yeah, 100%.
I think it's just all people in general. I think if
Yeah.
you're implemented on something that you do, or you're fronting up to sort of show there's something that you're doing and you think you're doing well, you do question yourself, don't you? It's not. I think it's perfectly reasonable for people to feel like that.
Yeah, but I mean, writing a book feels kind of arrogant. It's like you're writing this because you like it, and then you're putting it out there, hoping that someone else does. But you know, just because you like it doesn't mean other people are going to. So it's a weird thing to do. There is a certain sort of arrogance in it, I think, and hope. So when people start saying that they do like it, oh my god, it's such a relief.
But you will always. Sorry, feedback. You will always find people who will like your work. Because whatever it's written, there is people who will enjoy different things, isn't there?
Yeah, thank God. Otherwise, I'd give up now.
I mean, I thought your books were quite dark. What do you think the line is in it? Because there are points where you go quite gruesome.
Yeah, and honestly, I tried to hold back. I didn't want it to be too dark. I mean, the first one, you know, I was getting revenge on someone that I hated, so there wasn't really a line. You know, I wanted to do as much as I possibly could, which sounds terrible. But yeah, for him, there wasn't really a line. The second one, I could have not made quite as dark, possibly, but it was fun. So the cutting of the tendons or whatever, I don't really know where that came from either. But yeah, I realised that was quite dark. But I thought I want to incapacitate people, and there's that's one of the best ways to do it. So.
Do you ever get people sort of commenting that it crosses it? Because the people are different, aren't they?
So. Yeah, That's what I was worried about, I must admit. I knew that not everyone would like it, especially the first one, because it is quite dark. Um, a lady at work came in and she said, I've been reading your book. And she's like, I love you. I'm like, it's fiction, it's fine. And she's like, no, don't hurt me. She gave me up. So, yeah, and she's only read the first few chapters, so she's got quite a lot to find out yet. And my new boss wants to read it as well. And I'm like, please don't do that. don't read it. It's fine. You don't have to. It's fine. I won't be offended. Because it's a man, and I just think being a man, I'd rather he didn't. Yet he doesn't really know me. So yeah, that does worry me a little bit, a lot.
Malcolm wants to know if you read the reviews.
Yes, I do, religiously. I wonder if that will wane the more books I write and the more reviews I get. But I've only had one that's kind of really bad. Well, not really bad actually, and it wasn't even about my book. But apart from that, they've all been really positive. So yeah, at the minute, I'm still at the stage where I check daily to see if there's any new ones because I've got a blog tour running. So yeah, I am checking, and they've all been really lovely actually. So at the minute, yes.
Does it help having all the sort of time and effort that you built up in the community? Do you think that helps your sales and your promotion?
Not at all. Not at all. I would the bloggers and stuff it helps with, and the authors and stuff not really. You know, the amount of people I've shared their books and I've shared stuff for them, and they don't return the favour and stuff. You know, it's quite offensive, really. Like, you know, they're like, "Oh, thanks for your support and stuff," and you know, there's some people like Malcolm that always will, and then there's quite a lot that don't. So yeah, not really.
Melanie's asked her how sales are going.
Badly, very slowly. Yeah, it's been tough, really tough. After the first book done quite well, and I don't know if that was because it was the first one or because it was with Rampart, which I don't think so. Seeing this one struggle has been quite disheartening, to say the least. Yeah, I think I've sold like 17 maybe the last time I checked, which is very rubbish, but there we are. It is what it is.
Well, we can keep putting the word out and hoping that'll increase.
Yeah, and I'll try and I hadn't really done. I was working like crazy overtime as well, so I knew that I hadn't really advertised it much. But then, you know, I've tried to do that now, so maybe that will help as well.
Oh, Rebecca, I'm going to ask you Rebecca's questions, and again, I quote: you cannot say that the evil questions are my fault, right? Because I don't even know how I would answer this question. But it's your interview, so you have to. If you could only own one book, what would it be and why? I mean, that is an evil question. You blame Rebecca Collins, though, for that one.
That's fine. Thanks, Rebecca. It'd have to see my mind automatically goes to Harry Potter, and I don't know why. I think just because it takes you off somewhere else. You know, you've got, you know, there's so many incredible books. But Harry Potter just takes you off somewhere else, and I think you find something new. So yeah, I think it would be that. That's my off the cuff answer. I'd probably think of 100 afterwards, but that's my answer now.
My mind went Wuthering Heights because it's something I can read over and over again.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I don't think I'd only want to own one book.
No, oh god, no.
Like,
When we both own like probably 1,000, and narrowing it down to one is just sick.
yeah, we'll ignore that. They didn't mean one book. Pauline says, "How do you combine working, writing, and all the festivals? How does anyone manage it? You just sleep when you have time."
Yeah, it's fine. I try and compartmentalise my day, and like I say, at the minute I'm failing because I'm not writing. But I think that's partly because my head wasn't in the right place either. Knackered. But I'm starting a new job on Monday. So I think once I'm in a proper routine, then I'm going to make time to write again. But yeah, because I need to read as well, because I still take part in blog tours. So yeah, time. But this time's for this time's for this, and then whatever time's left is to read and try not to fall asleep. That's what I feel. Practice.
That was a good answer. Good answer. Rebecca says good answer for the books as well. Melanie's suggested a book trailer. How's your video editing skills?
I mean, I've tried, but I don't have much patience. I get irritated quite easily and then want to give up and throw my laptop. So, yeah, that's not my area.
I learnt video edit in lockdown, so if you ever need a crash course,
Okay, yeah,
I'm pretty okay at it.
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, it was one of my lockdown skills that I still use to this day. It's like really handy. Like,
I have tried when people have said something controversial in an interview I've done with them, and they're like, "Oh, can you just take that out?" And I'm like, "Really?" Like, okay, because it is bad, but okay, I'll try.
I mean, just cutting things out is pretty easy. Depends what you use to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was using free stuff as well, so that's not always easy, is it? Because I don't like doing stuff for free, they'd much rather you pay for it. So, yeah, it wasn't ideal, but I managed just. It wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it.
So you've got the blog tour running now. How long is that going for?
Finishes on Thursday, I think. Yeah.
Just in time for Noir at the Bar?
Yeah.
Are you
Absolutely.
taking copies with you to Harrogate? So if people are watching, like I know G who's watching the showing, right? Are you going to have copies that people can buy there?
Yes, I bought some in preparation. We have, well, we don't have to, but when we do Noir at the Bar, you've got a chance to win one. And then, yeah, I'll have some on me. I'll have some of both actually. So yeah, you can buy them off me. That had it. I've been asked a few times actually. Sarah Blackburn asked me earlier as well. So yeah, I ordered them. Luckily, way in time, so they take ages to come. So yes, I will.
Brilliant. What other book festivals are you going to this year? Because you were always giving me book festival envy because I can't get away from work to go to them. So when I see you going and living your best life at all of them, and I'm like,
So yeah, I'm going to, obviously after Harrogate, I'm going to bloody Scotland. Then I'll be doing the Chiltern Hills. I would have done Shoreham, but they're resting that this year. Then I was supposed to be doing one in Birmingham, but they've had to cancel that. So I think after Chiltern Hills, that'll be it for the year. So yeah, but the good thing about my new job is I don't work weekends, so now I can go to so much more stuff. Because it was always on Saturdays and I always worked Saturdays. So now I'm like, I could go to everything.
Mills is saying that she doesn't think she's ever known you to be this quiet.
What do I say to that?
I'm going to say it's my charming teacher effect. Oh yeah, G has asked if the books are to buy. She'll see you at Noir at the Bar. So there you go. You might have a sale.
Brilliant. One, yay!
But they build up, don't they? So the more that you talk, because I think book sales spread by word of mouth a bit as well. So the more you've sold, then the more people talk about it. The more you
Yeah.
do like Noir at the Bar, it will increase. I mean, it might be slow to start with because you've not got the adverts and things out, but I'm sure it will get better.
Yeah. I need to help myself as well. Like I know that I haven't because I was just absolutely. I worked like 11 days in a row, 10-hour and 12-hour shifts. I was knackers. I just didn't have the energy to think about adverts and stuff. So I know that I didn't do enough for myself either. So it's, you know, it's my fault too. So now I'm in the headspace and stuff, and hopefully. And Sean Campbell told me off in a nice way.
Which panels are you looking forward to at Harrogate? She asks.
There's a couple that I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, Mark Billingham, because he's just Mark and I love him to bits. Like, it's so funny all the time. I actually sent a thing to Sharon. I've got it. Of all the ones that I definitely want to do. I was making notes at work, so I was bored. You know, I was working very hard. I can't remember off the top of my head though. I mean, what day is it again? I don't know.
I'm only going to one panel at Harrogate where you look for your notes. I'll fill in while you look for your notes. I'm going, because I'm only going on Saturday. I'm going to the one, I think it's called like, they're on a different planet or something like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Which sounds really good. So it's in like, it's got Adam Moyabanji on, who I interviewed recently and really enjoyed the book of. And I think Doug Johnston's hosting it. I'm excited to see it.
Paula Hawkins. Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads is another one. Can't read my own writing. Yeah, Paula Hawkins will be cool as well, because obviously, you know, I've read her stuff and that, so. But not too many, and hopefully it's not going to be too hot this year. Last year was just crazy in the tent, and it was just too hot. So hopefully this year it's looking to be a bit cooler, so we will watch a few. But I think last year, after one or two, we were like, no, this is crazy. Can't do it.
It's been pretty hot in Yorkshire, I'm not going to lie, recently. It's raining today, so it's slightly better, but...
Yeah, it's rained here today as well, which was literally all day. And as soon as I had to leave the house, I got absolutely drenched. I was like, oh, it's for that.
You've been told that you're amazing and to have more confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I get told that all the time. Obviously, I listen and take it on board.
But I mean, you should, if a lot of people tell you it. Like, you know, because a few times might just be people being polite, but if it comes from more than one place and more than one time, then it's probably worth listening to.
Yeah, I just learned to say thank you.
Are you tempted to write in any other genre?
I'd love to try speculative. It fascinates me. I'd love to do like World War era as well. But I just think the research involved, I don't know if I'd have the dedication to do it. But I love reading it. So I'd love to write it as well. I don't think I'd like to go further back in history, but definitely the World War era. And I've got an idea for a cozy crime series I really want to write as well. So, yeah, definitely.
Be interested after dark this series is. I'd be really interested to see you write a cozy one and how you would do that. I don't think you could hold yourself back from being a bit grim.
Me too. I'm very interested to see.
I would be very intrigued. I mean, I think speculative fiction is probably a good concept because you've got a bit of a sciencey background, so you're gonna have, like, I like that kind of stuff if the science is good.
Yeah. Plus, it's fascinating. It's so interesting. And if it's interesting, then yeah, I need to be interested. Otherwise, yeah, not for me. So I'd love to do that.
Mills says that she won't be polite. You'll get a good northern talking to if she doesn't stop if you don't stop tormenting yourself. Leslie says she likes speculative fiction, but that needs a lot of tech research. You might have to learn to video edit to be able to do speculative fiction.
Okay. Noted. That's fine.
TG is watching it and she says you met so many writers who stood out the most. That's a hard question as well. See? Everyone's being mean today with questions.
Yeah, I deserve it. It's fine. What can I say? I know I deserve it. Doesn't make it any nicer. I mean, people stand out for different reasons, don't they? So, Mark Billingham, because he's so down to earth, and he's someone that's like, if you don't want to meet readers, don't go to festivals. Whereas you get some people that are quite snooty and try and hide. And I just think that's the exact attitude. Like, if I ever got to his level of fame, which ain't going to happen, but if I ever got to that, that's how I'd want to be. Then obviously, like Malcolm, me and him just got on straight away. I don't know, and he makes me laugh more than most people, and Tony Fordro, I think. Then Lee Child, I spent quite a lot of time with in Bristol, and I was surprised at how down to earth he is. He's just normal, he's like put on this pedestal, I think, and he was talking just about how much he smokes and random and stuff. So different people. Kathy Reichs would be the bad one. She was quite snooty and she wouldn't let people take pictures with her at Harrogate. And then she disappeared as soon as she'd done her panel, and that was it. And I was like, okay, you're one of the probably, you're over here from America. You've got this massive queue of British readers that have been looking forward to meeting you, and then you just bugger off. And I'm like, okay, don't think much of you. So yeah.
She might have had a reason though. I mean, I always think that, like, often there's generally a very good reason for most.
Yeah, this is true. Because I've had people say
people would meet their readers, wouldn't there? And there might have just been something that came up or something else.
yeah. Yeah, I suppose like just on that one impression, if she'd done it again, then I'd be like, yeah, because I think she's a bloody Scotland. So if she does it again in bloody Scotland, then I'd be like, no, she's me.
Angela says she likes the sound of the World War story. But it is a lot of research because you have to get the language right as well, don't you? I think that's the thing that people don't realise about historical things. It's not just about getting the events and things right, it's about getting like the language right, the clothing right, the food, like there's so much other stuff in there, the music, like you've got to get everything.
And it was so different, the language, wasn't it? You don't realise. And some of the words and stuff they used and some phrases didn't exist yet. And yeah. But it is something I would be willing to do because I really do like that era. So yeah, I'll think about it. I have an idea as well, actually. So more of a split timeline, actually, but I do have an idea for that as well.
You will have people who fact check you as well.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm surprised I haven't been pulled up on anything I've written because in the first book there's a hotel that is actually in Dunstable, but I moved it because it needed to be in a different place. It's actually a Dunstable hotel, so I was surprised that I haven't been picked up, and I know full well that it's in the wrong place, if you know what I mean. But it needed to be there for fictional purposes, so there we go.
Have you done anything kind of in your area as a local author? Because that often is a good way of like introducing yourself to bookshops and things, isn't it? And I don't know that many other people who write stuff down where you are based.
Yeah, I mean it's really difficult. So I did do an event in my local library when I first published Peter Markham, but that was really difficult to get off the ground, and it took months. Then I've asked about the local WIs and stuff, and that hasn't happened yet. Then I asked about another group, and like the guy was so like, whoa, intense, like we haven't done this, and we've got someone doing this, and you need to do this, and it needs to be this long. And I was like, no, thank you, like wow. But we don't have any bookshops. We just don't have any. We have to go miles to get to them, like 20, 30 miles maybe, and then I'm not really local, it's not. So yeah, I haven't done anything really because there just isn't anything around here, and the library's not that supportive, which is quite surprising.
I'm just looking at that. Laura says that you can do historical by setting it in the 1990s.
Yeah, I know, don't depress me.
Donna's too young to remember the 1990s. And T says, what or who encouraged you to write your first book?
No one actually. I just done it. Yeah, it's something I wanted to do. So I just went for it. Yeah, no one really encouraged. I didn't actually, to be honest, I didn't tell anyone that I was doing it until I'd pretty much done it.
Malcolm saying you should do some of the research for your World War II one now while there are still people alive to talk
Yeah,
to talk to.
because didn't the last World War One veteran just die? I think at like 114. So that's it now, which is
You might have things like if you've talked to your grandparents about things they did as well. Like I remember my granddad writing as like a thing at primary school about what he did in the war and
yeah. I mean, obviously, my granddad died. And we tried to get information out of him, and we found stuff about what he'd done in the war after he died because he just wouldn't tell us. I know now, but they have spoke about their lives. He was born 1927, my nan was born 1938, and when they talk about their childhoods, I love it. It's fascinating. So yeah, I do have that resource as such, I guess. Yeah, so interesting.
it can be. I think it is fascinating. But yeah, and there's always going to be people who will talk to you about things. And the same, like you're not that far from London, so you could go do the Imperial War Museum for some research.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I might even have been there, to be honest. I'm sure during my childhood, I'm sure I've been taken there. Must have been. But yeah, going back as an adult would be interesting. And I've been to the British Museum, and they had the last time I went, they had all the old shops, the Victorian shops. I loved it. It was so cool. So even details like that would be important. So yeah.
Have you ever? There's something like that in York Castle Museum, and I'm trying to think of like there's one near the Abbey in Leeds that's got that like an old street
Oh,
with all
cool.
the things that are like interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's fairly near here is Swindon Live Museum. I can't live in something. I can't remember. We got taken there on a school trip, but that's a village where they have candle making and all sorts of stuff. I remember getting taken there on a school trip, but it was fascinating. Black Country Museum or something it's called, and that's like a real Victorian town. So yeah, but I don't think there's anything sort of closer to where I am, except for London. Maybe I don't know. I've never looked.
Oh, I love a good museum. There's
Yeah, we don't have that Dunstable. There's nothing. Although we're a Roman town, so but no, there's nothing.
not any other Roman ruins or anything to visit.
No, absolutely
Possible.
Yeah, I mean the crossroads. I think we're in the Domesday Book. Our church was built in like 1192 or something. We've been around a while, but no, absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Sad times. See what you would like because of your gruesomeness when you come up to Leeds for our event is a medical museum.
Oh yeah, see, I went to the one in Scotland, T.G. Campbell, the surgical museum, and it was fascinating until I got to the room with all the body parts, and then after a while, the smell, and I had to leave. I'm just like, I don't know if it was the formaldehyde or whatever it was, but after a while, the smell really started to get too much. I'm like, no, I'm out.
But yeah, you might like it's good. There's good medical
Yeah,
museum.
I'm checking that definitely.
Do it's well worth the thing. Someone suggested you write about your forensic science experiences. Although
Yeah,
that's on your degree, isn't it? So
yeah. See, the thing I found with that, especially in the first book, was I knew too well how to cover the crime up. So then I had to deliberately write in a piece of fabric that was left so that they had something, because I'd written it that she'd done it so well that they wouldn't have had anything. So I'm like, well, they've got to catch up. So I've got to leave something that they could work with. So yeah, that was the trouble with that.
I mean, you've given it away that it's a her. It's unusual having a female killer. What means, isn't it, in a book? Is that something that makes to stand out a little bit?
Yeah, I know. I think maybe a bit feministy that I didn't realise that I was. It always feels like women are being attacked and killed and stuff, so I just wanted to turn it on its head and, you know, put men in their place a bit. I'm not anti-men particularly, but I do feel quite strongly that, you know, women, you know, need to be more empowered. So yeah, it was very much that.
Oh, you're being recommended Beamish. I've never been there, but it's like the Black Country Museum, but it's apparently meant to be amazing. It's huge.
Okay, I've heard of that actually as well. Yeah,
It's up in the northeast, but yeah, I've never been.
I want to go to the Poison Garden as well, which is up in the northeast somewhere. So yeah, I'll have to do a tour.
Yeah, you could use it as research as well, couldn't you? You could claim it's research, like
Yeah, absolutely.
poison study.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to go there? How cool is that?
All right, I mean, it's pretty cool. I think though, I mean, and this is the thing where you can match it. I think interesting and unusual because poisonous plants are really commonly used, but there's like a lot of really cool like biotoxins that you can use that are like less well known, aren't there? So, I mean, if
Yeah,
you do, like you're going sciencey and interesting, that'd be the way to do it.
yeah, yeah. Speak to Brian as well. He'd be able to help. I mean,
Do you,
anything.
go on, carry on. Sorry.
Like he says, anything can be a poison. It's just a dose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get asked to help people with forensic information?
A couple of times, and the funniest one was Diane Saxon just messaged me and said, if a child was stored in a freezer, how long would they take to defrost? No, you know, hi, how are you? No, anything, just that question. I was like, oh, okay. So I told her, but yeah, so that was quite funny. But yeah, a few times actually I've been asked, and usually I just get that like a random question out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay. I love it. It does make me laugh, especially if I'm at work or something, and I'm like, you know, like how long does it take a child to defrost? I'm like, okay.
Now you're experiencing what it's like to be a teacher. You're just randomly doing your life and someone asks you a really random question. I mean, normally in my case, it's something like what are your 3 favorite Pokemon or something, but
Okay. Yeah,
you know, that's slightly better than how long does it take a child to defrost. So while you're on your building time for reading, you could answer my favorite question of what you've read recently and enjoyed.
I was ready for this.
I knew you would.
Yes. So I literally finished today a book called The Curious Case of the Black Scarab. I think the curious cliche actually of the Black Scarab. Now, this is the most random book I've ever read in my life, and it was hilarious. It's set in 1912, and these two reporters of a history magazine get sent to Egypt to find this woman that they've never been able to find, and they know that they won't be able to find it, and there's money at stake and stuff. And it's just they just leave absolute chaos in their wake. They set fire to stuff and accidentally shoot someone through a hotel door and stuff, and it was so good. So yeah, and that was I've read Breaking Amends by Lisa Sell, which is the second in her Dark Deeds series, and that was really good. It's an old gang, like an old biker gang, I think, if I remember correctly. They're all named after animals, and that was really sad at the end, actually. And then Forgotten Shadows by Wes Markin, who is currently one of my favourite authors. His books are just incredible. I don't know how he does it. He writes really fast. And me and Sharon usually will get an email. Oh, how are you stretched for reading? I was like, well, you know, I'm swamped as usual, but if you want me to read your latest book, that's fine. But yeah, so they're my three at the minute, I think, that stand out.
Cool. Do you have, those are the three that stand out. Do you have any plans? You talked about audio. Is there any other ways that you would like to have your book out? Have you thought about if it was adapted, what you'd like to feature as?
No. It has
Like film calling cameo?
I'd love to do the cameo. Yeah, I'd love to be in the background or something. I don't think I mean, like, I can't see my characters. So if anyone ever asked me who I'd want to play, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what they look like. I've got no clue. I don't even describe them that much, I don't think. So, but yeah, I'd love to be in the background doing an Alfred Hitchcock thing and just be like sitting in a restaurant or something. I don't think I would be on screen. I just, yeah. Yes.
We're doing all right on screen at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I do know you though, so that's fine.
And I've been mostly nice, so I'm blaming all the evil questions on the people who are watching.
Yes, you have been very nice.
I've only asked you polite questions.
Yeah, I know there's still time left though.
What would be so I'm always intrigued by, you talked about your research that you did. I'm always intrigued by what's the most fascinating thing you kind of discovered. Well, you've been on your writing journey. What's the most fascinating thing you've discovered?
I mean, the LARP thing was really interesting. I mean, it's super geeky, but it's massive, it's huge, and the things that people do, and it's so cool. They talk about kids not having anything, and people being online being a bad thing. But this is such a massive community, and they do go out and they do meet up and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. And then on the gross side, how easy it is to cut a certain appendage off. That was quite interesting.
What has been your best part of the author journey so far? So we talked about some of the negatives. What's been the best thing about being an author?
Like the first time that I signed a book, which was very cool, and that was Steve Munoz, which was even more special because Steve is a legend.
Steve is a gem of a human being.
He is absolutely, yeah. And then not even doing being a spotlight author at Bloody Scotland, but getting that author lanyard, because it was like no one can take this away from me now. Like, I've done it. I'm an author. So doing the spotlight thing was terrifying, but having that author lanyard all weekend was really special. And just, like, publication days as well were amazing. And the feedback and reviews, actually, nice reviews are lovely. There's quite a lot that's really nice, actually. To be fair, it's not all bad.
Do you have a special publication day celebration?
No, I didn't. I worked half a day, and then once I finished, I didn't do anything. I don't think I was gonna do a live thing, and I was too tired. I think I slept most of the afternoon, so I didn't end up doing anything. So yeah, that was pretty lame actually. But there we are. I'll have to do something next time.
We'll buy you a drink at Harrogate to celebrate publication.
Yeah.
Do your family read your books?
My sister read my first one, and my nan, and my cousin actually. I don't think any of them. I don't think my nan can read now because of her stroke. I don't think, but she did say that she wanted to know about the sex scenes, and I'm like, no, you don't, nan. You don't need to know about those. That's fine. We're never having this conversation. So yeah, but yeah, my sister read the first one, and my cousin has recommended it to her book group, book club. So that's quite nice as well. So they're all going to read it, which is weird.
Oh, are you going to go and talk to them when they've read it? I think that's it. I don't know how I feel about that, by the way, as a member of, like, being a past member of a book group, because if you don't like it, you wouldn't feel like you could say anything if the author was there, would you?
Oh yeah, and obviously people have different tastes in those groups, and crime isn't going to be everyone's taste, and it's quite dark crime as well. So yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see if I'm busy or not on the day.
Just maybe hope for the feedback, like the nice bits of the feedback. Just tell her to like selectively edit the feedback.
Yeah, that's it. If you hated it, just don't tell me. I'm fine.
Apparently, I'm itching to ask you a hard question. I'm not, because I'm not that kind of person.
I don't mind.
I don't. I think we just need to have a nice chat.
Yeah.
And that's all that's important, isn't it? Like, it's not, we don't make you feel uncomfortable. We just want to help you sell your books. So,
Yes.
something interesting about Dunstable that you're going to put in a future book that we don't already know.
I was researching. There's a story about a witch. I can't remember the details exactly, but there's this story of a witch that haunted a school. So that I have to find a way of putting that into a book, because it's such a random fact that I've got to try and include it somehow. Perhaps I could include my old school as well, because it's been knocked down. It doesn't actually exist anymore. So perhaps I could incorporate the two. But I mean, Dunstable, it doesn't. When I looked, there isn't a lot of sort of folk tales and stuff, but it's old. There must be stuff, is my theory, because it's where Henry VIII got divorced. Like, not invented divorce, but where he was, and our church and stuff is linked to him. So there's got to be stories.
There will be. And I love a good gruesome like story like that, like a witch haunting the school. It's great.
It was such a random story as well, but I read it in a few places, so obviously it's quite well known. I'd never heard of it. It's only because I started looking up Dunstable folklore when I was bored at work. But yeah, and I kept seeing the story. I'm like, okay, I need to write that down. That's got to go somewhere.
And then we've got a couple of minutes left, so remind everyone who's watching, and there've been quite a lot of people watching. You need to go and read all the comments, because I've tried to read you some, but go away and read them, because it will make you feel a lot better.
Oh, okay, I will. I'll do that after.
But remind people what they're going to go away and buy. Let's get you some more sales. Go off the books, tell them what they're going to get.
Okay, so this is The Disappearance of Peter Markham. A local businessman goes missing, and then when the police start investigating, they discover he's not what he seems, and they wonder if someone's out for revenge. So that's my first one, available on Amazon, and I have agreed the audio deal for that, so that is going to be in production, but it's not going to be ready till October because the person doing it's busy, but that's fine. And then this is Masquerade of Murder, set during Luton Carnival, and based with an OCG and drugs and stuff. And then the dead body was found in a quarry. And is it linked? And do you really know what's going on behind closed doors? Is my sort of tagline for that one.
And you'll have some copies to sell at Harrogate as well.
Yes. And then if I have any left, then I'll offer them up to anyone else that wants them. I mean, I can get them anyway. So if anyone wants a signed one, then just let me know and I shall order them and stuff. It's no problem. I've got them on TikTok for sale, or I've got The Disappearance of Peter Markham, I think, on TikTok. I don't really know how that works, but I do know it's there. So yeah, if you do stuff on TikTok, then it's there. I'm assuming they'd let me know if I sold one.
I would presume so. Angela said thank you. She's currently reading Masquerade of Murder.
She read it. She's read it already, so that's really sweet. She read it ages ago, so yeah, bless her.
So she's reading it again.
Yeah.
And then there's been lots of other thank yous as well.
Awesome. Oh.
And then thanks for joining us.
Brilliant. And yes, I shall read everyone's comments. Thank you everyone for watching.
Definitely go and read all the comments.